I did. The picture is like a blur of me walking. You're live. Well, that's pretty cool. So we're trying to do a yoga flow class new on this, and I couldn't see where the camera situation was. So this is kind of a test yoga flow class, if you will. Let's see where our best view is. There we go. All right. So we got a nice view of the stage here. So this is the first time I've ran a video here through YouTube. I've just been kind of delayed, busy teaching classes. So we're streamlining them through YouTube now, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to come back and air this, and then I can get more and more content going for you. We currently have a lot of content that we're running through Facebook, and there's about 15 videos on there, and we're offering this up to everybody. You know, I want to offer it out to the world so that we have a little bit of camaraderie and communion amongst everybody. So I'm going to get my other camera going. You're going to hear me talking, and then we're all going to come back together here on this stage. So if you are ready to join us in our live class, go ahead and you can listen to the directions to it as I get going over here. Hi, everybody. Tara signed up. You can lock it. You can the last one to do live yoga class. Prepared to do a candlelight flow. So the idea behind a candlelight flow is that the move is way more kind of relaxed even than in a regular yoga class. But in yoga, the postures can get very, very challenging. It's difficult to always remain totally chilled. Hi, Jen. Hi, Jen. Two Jens. Hi, Jen. I love it. It always happens, too. I'm telling you, they're gremlins. You just move them. And then, like little yoga fairies. And all these yoga fairies are going out into the world and doing all their yoga deeds of good, spreading yoga compassion to all. Or whatever it is that your particular kind of niche is, because we've all got our things, that we're able to offer out here. So hopefully you're finding yours. So we're going to be moving through, like I said, a candlelight flow. So hopefully you can get your environment set up in your own home where it's a relaxed vibe. Maybe you can just turn the dimmers on the lights down a bit. You can also light. I'm sure many of you have candles. I mean, the power does go out, and then we have candles, and we get obsessed oftentimes with decorating the house with candles. It's right up there with the pillows. It's a fun element. Don't try to figure it out. They have different smells and colors and shapes, and so we probably should get just one of all of them, and then place them all over the house. So start gathering those up, and then get them prepared. And we're going to come onto our mats. Tonight we're going to be working it's a dynamic sequence, but I just want to remind my friends that are maybe new to this, because people that take hard yoga, they're all different ages, shapes, physical fitness levels, if you were looking at it in that capacity. And we all are in one room, and we all practice together. Just go as far as we need to go. And we know when we need to stop. We know when we push ourselves. We know when we try new things. And I really invite you into doing the same thing. Don't judge yourself. There's no comparison. I mean, you're at home, for Christ's sake. So try it. If you're doubting yourself and you feel like, I shouldn't do this, then don't do it. It's really not that difficult. And if you're feeling like, I feel like I'm prepared, I've been practicing for this, I'm ready to take that next step, try it. What's the worst thing that can happen? And ask yourself, and we often say, what's the risk versus the reward in yoga? What happens if you do that and fail? Nothing. Well, then do it, because then you won't know if you can do it or not. So we're going to begin in a child's pose tonight. Hi, Pam. Hi, Jessica. I guess I can wave back at you guys. Oh, check that out. I can wave back. I was waving back, here, I need to know. I'm delayed. Talk about technology. That came from her arm.
I was in text Tara to see if she was coming.
So no pressure to our model tonight.
Oh no.
There's only one, and she's like, hello, welcome. I'm like, you have to go out there.
Dim
I'm
the
like,
lights.
yes, I have to see
Dim
you.
the lights. Dim
So
the
just
lights.
so you know, she's like, I want it. So I think it's just a good idea to know that you don't have to be exactly as I'm showing you, although you can try and you should, and a lot of you will be. But if you were not, I just don't want you to feel bad about it. And I want you to think about the layers that we have here. There's always a place for you. So if you're brand new and starting out, and you're like, how am I going to do that? I couldn't do most of these poses. And the ones that like it, we're like, yeah. We just came back. That is it. We came back to class. So let's start now and let's bring the tone down. And I'll get rid of my cute little slippers. Let's fall now into a child's pose. Child's pose is Nancy's beautifully demonstrating it. Knees are wide, outside edges of the mat. Big toes are touching behind you. Now, as the big toes touch behind you, the arms will lengthen out in front and your forehead will rest just comfortably onto the mat. Now, the forehead lines up with a with our intuitive chakra, which is Ajna, A-J-N-A. I call it Anja. Pituitary gland, and that's part of our whole endocrine system, our master gland system. And as you apply pressure into that forehead, you can awaken the system even here at night. So I want you to just comfortably come down, maybe begin to find your breath. The knees can be wide if you can do it toes together, but if not, they can always move into a position that you can handle. As the arms are out, the forehead's resting onto the mat, and we're just going to take a few deep breaths here, nice and deep in and out. Now notice your breath, and maybe just count the next breath on if you can. See how long it lasts as you breathe in. See how long you can hold it to. Just challenge yourself. This is how we strengthen our lungs. And then as you exhale, try to match the exhale breath to the inhale breath. And feel your heart melt back, feel your armpits melt back, feel your hips melt back. You're going to be here for another 3 breaths. And if you can get your forehead onto the mat, see if you can apply just enough pressure into that forehead. That will activate the glands. But on the next exhale, lift your elbows. Lift the elbows up from the mat. And as the elbows are lifted up from the mat, press back into your armpits. My forehead is going to be off the ground because of the microphone. So just try to listen to the words here. Don't trouble yourself so much with my head and my neck here. Continue now to breathe and take one more deep breath in. Keep your elbows up. Keep your shoulders back. Now slowly drag yourself up. So we're going to come up onto all fours tabletop. Bring the knees in a little bit closer together here and make sure that you're really stacked, the hands under the shoulders. They're usually like way out in front of us and we don't realize it. Then when you get your hands back, slide the elbows down, replace the elbows with the hands with the elbows, maybe on your forearms, and I will find the right place for this thing to reside, I promise you. Now this is kind of an easy puppy dog pose. So if you think about that forehead that was just onto the mat, we're going to see if we can place it there. But first we're going to need to walk the elbows out. Go ahead and place the forehead onto the mat. Now I'm going to come up here and I want you to keep walking out. Now continue to walk your arms out. And as your arm walking out, the forehead will be able to absorb the weight and the elbows will be able to lift up and walk further out as the weight comes out of the arms. Now, what you're going to notice here is with the weight into the forehead, we can activate that chakra, but also draw in pressure into the armpit. The armpit, the ball socket joint of this arm, you know, it holds on to a lot of tension, you know, and then finally one day you reach for the back seat to grab something and then you blow the whole thing out, or you are playing a sport or something happens. So as you're here, just allow the body to open slowly. For those that are very, very flexible, it could go a little deeper, but only please if that sounds would go up to the mat if it sounds like you, and your armpits would become a little bit closer to the mat, all the way down to touching the floor with the armpits and the chest. So again, this is a deeper variation. I did not go into that deeper variation for a very long time. There was quite a bit of stuff in the shoulder joint itself. So just coming down here and getting the forehead onto the mat was plenty deep enough. So now wherever you find yourself, we're going to move back into the breath. And as you're moving into your breath, I'm going to read to you, and this is going to take us about 5 or so breaths, but where we're going, it's really interesting from here. I'm going to continue as I read from a couple different books that we've been reading through this kind of journey here from our online streaming, is Santosha, and it's one of the yamas and the niyamas, and the book is the yamas and the niyamas, and the author is Deborah Adele.
And it's on the topic of Santosha. And we were already kind of talking about this. And I'm going to elaborate on this. And if you didn't miss it, if it was in a different class. But there's a Chinese proverb that states, people in the West are always getting ready to live. And there's a remarkable truth to this proverb. You see, when we are little, we can't wait to get big. When we are big, we can't wait to get out of the house. And then we can't wait to get through college, get a job, wait till our vacations, and finally, we can't wait until retirement. As the Chinese proverb states, we never really live, we just kind of get ready. So along with getting ready for the next thing, we tend to look at what other people's lives look like and see what's missing in our own. We look across the fence and see what we don't have rather than look inside the fence and enjoy what we do have. And when we look over the fence, we move ourselves into a lack. So notice where the mind is traveling. We'll end it there and we'll pick it back up. And we're going to take just a couple more breaths here in this puppy dog. Either the forehead is onto the floor or the throat, heart, and armpits are onto the floor. The hips are still over to the knees.
For my friends that have the armpits and the chest and the heart onto the mat, please place your forehead back onto the mat. Once the forehead's back onto the mat, just kind of rock your hips forward to back. And you're going to notice yourself lifting up into the heel of the palm and the hands coming back pretty quickly. It's like you wanted to almost come right out of this position. So as you come up, get all up in straight arms, walk your knees forward a little bit, walk your hands forward so that we're back into a comfortable tabletop. Now from here, take the right leg and extend it out. If this becomes problematic, just bring the big toe down. We bend the left knee. Maybe you stay here, maybe you go on, maybe you don't. Reach back and grab the top of the left foot and walk it back, the ankle or the foot. Make sure you get it towards the top of the foot. And then shift your weight up to the right tip-toe. Maybe you stay there. I don't even know what this is going to look like. And if you can, you're going to try to lift the right leg up. 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Now slowly back out, releasing the hand, releasing the foot, and then slowly bringing the left knee down to the mat. Bring the elbows down to the mat. I'm going to just slide back a little bit here, just to make sure my hips are over my knees. Puppy dog. So slide the elbows out, bring your forehead onto the mat. Once the forehead's onto the mat, shift the weight now into the forehead and let the arms come out. Remember, those of you that were able to go to the throat and it wasn't bothering the head and the neck, feel free to go back there. It means the shoulder is fairly open. There's not too many complications in there. It might not be necessarily even in there, so please notice as you draw the heart down. Now just continue to breathe, rolling those shoulders back. Feel a nice, soft, deep breath moving through your body, allowing those shoulders to back out, allowing you to go a little bit deeper, but not through worry. You are in complete control. Now try to move the breath in and out through the nose. 3 more breaths here. So listening to that, why do we go into a state where it's enough and into excess? What prevents us from being, content? And this breath and these poses, they teach us that, to be content even when things don't seem so easy. Now again, you're going to bring the forehead back to the mat, put the pressure back into the forehead so that the hands can come back. And then pretty soon you're going to lift up into those hands so that the hands want to come back and underneath the shoulder. All right, now stack into tabletop again, roll the shoulders back. This time we're going to take the left leg back. Now once the left leg is back, draw the belly muscles in. You're going to tuck the tail kind of the left butt cheek. Engage when we go into that last bit of balance, is we want to be able to not really need this left leg and not really need the right arm. Just the right kneecap and just the left hand. So maybe just lift your right foot off the floor here and leaving that knee down. Do you feel that? Do you feel that delicate balance there? It's not easy. So bring the hand or foot back down and then bring the right arm out to the side. And bring that arm out to the side. And just breathe. Reaching through the arm. Now push the ground away with that left hand. Feel the heart lift, feel the shoulders lift, feel the crown of the head move towards the front of your mat.
Feel that left leg stay super strong. Come back towards your breath. Come back towards the breathing. Close your eyes if you can. Dim them if you can. 2 more breaths. The right hand will come back towards your right hip on the second breath. I'm just going to set the hand there, kind of forget about it for a moment, kind of let that go. Bring the left toe mound to the floor. I'm going to have to move up. I'm getting really kind of off the stage here. So the left toe mound is going to come down to the mat, okay? Now put the weight into the left hand. Bend that right knee so the foot comes up. See if you can grab the ankle maybe, but you need to get to the top of the foot. Otherwise, you're going to feel it in your back, and you really don't want that. So you're really better served here. So as you come up here, if anybody made it to this point, right? So now we're going to kind of get that weight on that shoulder over the hand, and then we're going to bring that weight into that left hip toe, and then see if you can bring it up. Three, 2, and 1. Super hard on that second. All right, we're going to relax a little bit, and then glide forward onto the toes and glide back. I'm going to do that a few times, just a little bit bigger now. Forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and down dog. And push back. You may need to readjust your hands and your feet to get nice and wide onto the mat. Shoulders are pushing back. The palms are pressing into the mat. The heels are pushing down. Tail is lifted up. Let's take another 2 or 3 deep breaths here. Feel your eyes closing. See if you can handle it closed or dimmed. Notice what you need. 1 more breath. Now at the bottom of the exhale, lift the heels, bend the knees. Good. And then from here, we're going to glide forward and back 3 times. Forward, back, forward, back, forward, down dog, push. Right leg comes up, inhale breath, 3-legged dog. Now exhale, draw the right leg through, draw the ribs in, lift up your hips, low lunge. Place the foot between the hands. You might have to help that leg out to get it forward. It's totally fine. Draw the left knee down to the mat. Release the top of the foot. And then slowly push back into your half splits. Push back into your half splits. Feel the right hip spin back. Feel the left hip push forward. And then let the belly surrender down to the thighs. Feel the head and the neck completely surrender. Feel the shoulders melt as the forehead drops towards the top of the shin. We're here for 3 to 4 breaths. Think about the next thing you've been getting ready for. And we talk about kind of always getting ready. You know, it's like we spend so much money to go spend a week somewhere and try to remember to enjoy ourselves. It all seems a bit ironic. We're just not kind of more living in the moments that we have, instead of saving them up for one experience. As you take your next breath, it's really interesting. The next pose is very similar. So we're going to drag the foot back just enough that I can put some weight into it and bend that knee. Now, as you come up with your back leg, I lift it up and just flip it over, set it back down, pyramid pose. The back heel is lined up to the front heel. The fingers are about shoulder, hip width apart. The back leg is nice and flat, heel to the floor. The right hip is pressing back away from you, the left hip down and forward. And now draw the belly down to the thighs. Bring the chest to the knees. And then just slowly surrender here. Don't expect a straight leg. Some of you might have straight legs if you're very flexible in the hamstrings. I'm feeling a lot of pull, so straightening it just doesn't really always feel good to me in the hamstrings. Things are usually really tight in there. So I'm just going to hang out and linger. You find out where you need to be. There's going to be plenty of you. Then bring the back leg up towards the sky. Just lift your leg up. You're on one leg. The left hip is framed. The toes are grabbing the floor. The shoulders are relaxed. Your head is gently bowing more towards the toes each breath. Then slowly bring your feet together. Forward fold. Feet are together. So this is a really interesting flow that I have. It's tricky only in a sense. It's unusual, but that's kind of how I roll, right? So the best thing that I can give you here is to bend your knees a lot, and don't be afraid, because that's what's going to help you. So now bend your knees. Good. Place your left hand onto your hip. Can you place your right fingers over the top of your shin bone? That's it. And then as you stand up, bend the right knee and see if you can stand up with it. Just see if you can stand up with it and bend the knee. Yeah. Now, as you stand up and bring the knee with you, see if you can get really nice and tall. Really nice and tall. Now, as you're standing up, holding that knee, right, or ankle, pardon me, you can also do the foot if you're a bit more flexible and you're able to get into there. Now, the knees are closer together. The hips are pressing forward. We don't want to bend the knee and buckle into it. We want to bring the knees as close together as they'll come. Then squeeze the bottom, push the hips forward. And as you push the hips forward, you'll feel your body and shoulders kind of getting more equilibrium. That's it. Now from here, we're going to hinge forward, kick the right leg back. Don't worry about how far you go. And then lift this left arm up. As the left arm lifts up, can you reach and kick to see where it goes? For 4. It could be just here. It could be I'm holding onto my pant leg. I've seen that too. You use a strap, you could use a prop. Now, as we come back, just bring your feet together. That's it. Just set the feet down. Arms come up over your head. Exhale, breath forward, fold. Bring your hands to the mat. Head and the neck surrender. Good. Inhale, breath to a halfway lift, look up. Now step back to your plank, high push-up. And as you get back into your high push-up, press the ground away. As you're pressing the ground away, look up. Chest and chin comes up. Now, chaturanga is an actual pose. People pass right through it oftentimes, but we want to bring the elbows in and look up. If you can't maintain the pose, lower to your knees now. Inhale, breath to upward facing dog, lift your heart. Shoulders are back, ankles are pulled in. Exhale, breath is downward facing dog, lift your hips to the sky. Spread the fingers wide, push the tail up, and take another deep breath in and out. On the bottom of the next exhale, left leg up, nice and smooth. Exhale, breath, now bring that knee in towards your nose, suck in the belly, drag it through into low lunge. Place the foot between the hands. You may have to help it out. Drop the back knee to the mat. Press back into half splits. Hips are over the back knee. Hips are framed. So we're bringing the left hip back, the right hip forward, and then just bringing the belly down towards the thigh. Bringing the chest to the knee, the forehead towards the shin, and letting the head and neck surrender. Notice if you're leaning right or left. So I have an injury on my left side. Well, I've got a few injuries here. So we don't need to get into those details because we've all got stuff going on to our bodies. But I can tell right away the body leans. As soon as there's a problem, it starts to try to help me out. So I need to kind of resist it and go back to what the cues are. And then maybe bend more, adjust more, so then I can slowly melt into that proper position with time. As you bring your forehead towards your shin, your toe could even drop, your belly could get closer to the thighs. Take 2 more breaths here. As we set the left foot down on the next exhale, the left knee will bend. You may have to drag it back a little bit, it's okay. The right foot flips up and over, and then the 2 heels are once again on the same line for pyramid. The feet are about 3 feet apart. It's about 3 rulers, if you think about that, until I get back to that back heel. And I can always bend the front knee, but please don't bend the back knee. The left hip will push away from you. The right hip push will forward and down. Now slowly apply pressure to the inside arch of the left foot. Place pressure in the right knee, then squeeze the thighs together to lighten the fingertips, bringing slowly the forehead down towards the top of the foot. Once you're in this position, the right hip will push down a bit more. You can squeeze the thighs together, and let's get the fingers as light as possible for another 3 breaths. Check back in with your right knee, suck in the belly and squeeze the thighs together. 2. Standing splits is on 1. Come up to the right tiptoe and bring the right leg up towards the sky. Don't worry about the height of the leg. Keep your hips nice and framed. As your hips are nice and framed, you know that leg is coming up, then you can just take a couple more moments to breathe. Just continue to draw the hip down. Try closing your eyes here. This is a really good time to do that. So as you close your eyes, let's take another 2 breaths. On the next exhale, bring the feet together, forward fold. Okay, so from here, we're going to bend the knees quite a bit. Good, now get into a squat. Place the right hand onto the hip. Place the left hand onto the left shin bone and stand up with your left knee bending. All right, so if you're like, I'm a hot mess here, you're going to have to adjust your shirt. I kind of was all over the place on this one. But anyway, if you're like, I'm a hot mess on this one, who cares? Just get into it any way you can. Some people are hopping around on their feet till they can get it. Whatever. Use a wall. a piece of furniture. You make your kid come over here. Go get over, stand over here. Hold on to you. Do what you need to do. All right. The dog, however, is not helpful. Right, Nancy?
No.
Always in the way. The cat, not helping, not helping. And as soon as you light a candle, too, they seem to make their way over to you. All right, now squeeze the glutes. Let's push the hips forward. Do you feel how you were probably leaning to one side? So bring it to the center, squeeze and press forward, shoulders back. And then just kind of find that stillness here. When you're ready, you can slide it back. And if you never get ready, stay there. As you kick back, the right arm is going to reach up. So we're going to reach and kick in opposite directions. Lots of different arms here. They're all fine. Whatever your arms are, really is not the issue. Can you reach through that arm like you want to hand something off to someone so that energy is in there, which will give you a little bit more flexibility to kick that leg out. Then the hips will frame a bit more, the arm will reach, and we'll just breathe wherever you are. Doesn't matter how far you made it. 3, 2. Now feet together. You ready? Arms up, arm ahead. Exhale, forward fold. Let it go. Inhale to halfway lift, look up. Exhale to plank, step back and look up. Elbows in, knees strong, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, breath to upward facing dog. Lift your heart, shoulders back, knees up. Exhale, breath downward facing dog. Press it away. Nice deepening breaths now. Feel its calm heart rate coming through now. Let's see if I can find you guys a better position. I got one for you. Now let's take another breath and we're going to see if we can kind of add on to that. So again, it's an unusual sequence. You're going to get into it the best way that you can. We're going to have a little bit of fun. Exhale, breath, pyramid. Press the belly back to the thigh. Take another breath. Exhale to standing splits. Lift that leg up. Take another breath or two here. Forward fold. Feet are together. Assimilate the weight evenly. Good. Left hand to the hip. Now, as you come up, grab the top of the right shin. Bend and then kick up and back. This is where we're going to add on. So wherever you're just going to try to kick. When you get curved arm, you're going to reach and kick. And then I took us on the wrong leg, but that's okay. Float back to warrior one. There's way worse things can happen. All right. So we're on warrior one. Left leg's forward. It's all good. Now let's reach the arms up. Sink into that left knee. See if you can look over your left shoulder. Your left hip back, right hip forward. It actually feels really nice to be here. Forward, arms reaching to the sky. Then it means your warrior one, you could have landed probably further back. Now sink into the front knee. Engage the back thigh, super strong. Reach in opposite directions and draw the heart forward, shoulders back. Virabhadrasana 2. Drop your arm that's in front of you behind you. Bring it all the way back. Good. Now bring the other arm back behind you. Now sink deeper into your knee. Do you feel the difference? Do you feel your spine now being supported with your forearms? Push them into your lower back. Sink a little deeper. Now slide the right arm back to your plank. High to low push-up. If you can, inhale breath to upward facing dog. Lift your heart. And exhale breath to downward facing dog. Inhale breath, lift the left leg to the sky. And exhale breath, place the foot between the hands. Drop the back knee, half splits, press back, forehead towards your shin. Bend the left knee, pyramid, flip the right toes over, press the heel to the ground and bow. Standing splits, right leg comes up, and exhale, forward fold, get the weight even. Now bend the left knee, grab the top of the foot, and bring the right hand to your hip as you stand up. So here we are. You're standing on the right leg. Knees are together. Hips are framed. When you're ready, reach the arm up. Take a breath in and exhale. Kick into your bow. Good. 3. Now on this one, we're going to try to land. So as you release the foot, all the way back with your heel, arm sweeps up, and we're in Virabhadrasana 1. Take a moment now to pull the right shoulder and hip back. Bring the left shoulder and hip forward. Sink deeper into the knee and reach the arms to the sky. Remember that back leg, it's super strong, but it feels pliable, allowing you to go deeper and deeper into that front knee as the hips learn to frame a bit more. Don't work on perfection, just work the best you can. 2 more breaths. Warrior 2 on the exhale, open the arms. As the arms open wide, check out the feet. They should shimmy back a little bit, not a ton. The legs are utilizing almost the entire mat. The arms are reaching in opposite directions. The right hip and cheek is slightly tucked and pushed forward. As you sink into the knee, arms reaching in opposite directions. Push the heart through. Relax the shoulders. Good. Now take the right arm behind you, bend the elbow, support the back. Now bring that left arm back there, grab opposite elbows, forearms or wrist. Push your spine and your forearms together. Sink deeper into the knee and draw the belly muscles in. One more breath here as the left hand slides back, resting on the thigh. Right arm comes up. Inhale, reach up, sink in that knee. And exhale, frame your foot. Step back to plank. Beautifully done. High to low push up. Let's begin to throw this together now. Upward facing dog, lift your heart. Exhale is downward facing dog, return home and breathe. So take a couple moments. If you get lost, my theory is, who cares? Just join back in. It's yoga. Now, if you start working on some brain surgery and I'm involved, we're gonna need to talk. But until then, let's just have a light heart and take one more breath. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, drag it through, suck in the belly, low lunge. Drop the back knee, half splits, press it back. Pyramid, bend the front knee and flip your back foot over, push back. Standing splits, left leg comes up. Exhale, forward fold. Now we bring the right hand to the hip, bend the left knee and grab the top of the left foot. Now take a breath, find your balance. It looks like that. And exhale, reach and kick. Nice. Just find your reindeer bow. And then when you're ready, land into your warrior one. Whenever you're ready, give yourself the time to get back there. Exhale to warrior two, open it up. Left arm just keeps going. And the right arm reaches back. Reverse warrior. Frame the foot, step back to plank, high to low push up. Let's try the other side. Inhale to upward facing dog, lift your heart. And exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, breath, left leg sky. Exhale, knee to nose, drag it through. Back knee down, push back, half splits. Pyramid, flip the foot over, push the heel back. Standing splits, right leg comes up. Feet together, forward fold. Left hand to hip, bend the right knee, grab the shin. Standing bow, take a breath. Exhale and kick. It's actually a fun pose if you just go for it. Warrior one, float it back. Warrior two, sweep it wide. And then reverse warrior, come on back, reach. Exhale, breath, high to low, push up home. Inhale, breath, upward facing dog. And down dog. We're gonna do that one more time, okay? Inhale, breath, right leg sky. Exhale, breath, low lunge, drag through. Half splits, knee down, press back. Pyramid, flip the foot over, drop the heel. Standing splits, left leg up. Forward fold, get ready. Right hand hip, grab the left shin to ankle. Inhale, breath, and exhale, standing bow. Vira one, float it back, arms up. Vira two, open wide, gaze forward. Reverse Vira, reach it back, stay deep. Exhale, raise it back to the floor. And chaturanga it home. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg sky. Exhale, low lunge here. Right knee down, half splits. Pyramid, flip the back foot and heel comes down. Standing splits, right leg sky. Feet together, fold. Left hand hip, bend right knee, grab foot to ankle. Kick it back to standing bow. And Vira one, float it back, arms up. Vira two, open wide. Reverse Vira. Reach with grace. And exhale, bring it back to the mat. Friends, you did it. Let's go back to down dog. We'll meet for about 3 to 4 breaths. If you need to drop to your knees, you are welcome to do so here. So as you're returning back towards your breath, allow the breath to move slowly if you can through the nose. Nose, it's kind of like your nose, but it's snootier. It's snootier. They just keep coming to me, the hits sometimes. So you're snooting through your nose. All right, let's come back into that calm breath, that subtle kind of feeling of being, you know, in that soft candlelit room with the energy being very, very calm and subtle. And we're going to take a right leg to the sky. On the exhale, we're going to bring the knee to the nose and lower those hips. So kind of like we were gliding and then up. Remember in the beginning where I had to kind of glide and then kick it up, kick it up. Now bring it in. What are we, Nancy? Down, up. Now fast. Do you remember this one now?
Yeah.
It's a Jedi mind trick. Watch me first, because all you're going to do is try to land your heel, and then you're going to go into the splits. So heel first. Don't freak out. Just drop your back knee. Your hands are there to catch you. So here I'm with hands. If I have more space, that back leg will slide back and my splits will continue. If I happen to have a block, I could slide the block under my body, really tall even, right underneath this glute, and it will allow me to frame my hips. And then maybe I can just kind of hang out here if I wanted to. If you're like, well, that's great, but I don't have a block. So you're best off probably bending the front knee a bit. You can see how tight it gets in there. Bending the front knee, or even going back into the half splits that we did earlier. So I'm going to go a little bit more full just because it feels different, but in no way am I ready to do that other one with the shape of my hamstrings right now. So if you can just find where you can be, it's challenging to me, but I've not overdone it. The right hip is back, the left hip is forward. And we're only here for about 3 more breaths. Now try to inch the left heel up, or left knee up, and bend the right knee so that you can get into it, or inch the right foot back, whatever you can do on your mat. It's gonna get you stuck a little bit differently. All right, and then from here, bring the left leg just towards the sky to lift you up. Feet are together now, forward fold, Uttanasana. Bend your knees, chair pose, circle the arms up. And as the arms circle up, sit back into your chair. The arms are reaching towards the sky, the weight's back into the heels, and the knees are back. You should be able to see all 10 toes. Now continue to breathe here, gaze off the tip of the nose, and take 2 to 3 more breaths. Now as you exhale your next breath, bring the hands to the heart, revolve to the right for revolved chair pose. As the knees look together, I'm gazing first at the feet, feet together, knees together. Once I can do that, the hips are then lowered. The armpit is trying to get closer to the outer knee and the right elbow is lifted. The right hand will push into the left hand, bring your hands close, it's totally fine. You're just gonna try it because you have to start somewhere. Now, eventually we wanna try to lift that whole foot up and just hover with the knee bent, kind of like we did in that weird table. Then if you can, you're gonna step it back and move into a revolved crescent lunge. You may need to bring your hands to the mat. You might have to shimmy that foot back there. It's okay. Then get back into your revolve and come back to your breathing. Here we are for 4. If you get in trouble, drop the back knee to the mat. Hold for 3. Behind you. And bring your right arm to the sky. Sink into the right knee. Pull your arm all the way over. Now bend the elbow so the fingertips are between your shoulder blades. Then see if this left hand will reach up, because maybe, just maybe, you'll find them. Doesn't matter if they do or you don't. If you don't, just push the head back. Now sink deeper into the knee, lift out of your right ribs and your right elbow. 3. Wherever you are, any arms are fine by me. 2. Half moon is next. Release the right hand to the floor. I'm gonna leave my left arm behind me and kick the left leg up towards the sky. For this variation today, you're gonna leave your left forward. Get ready to layer on. The leg is strong and kicking up. The right leg should be straight. If you're able to layer on, bend the left knee. Move the left knee back and see if you can reach back to grab the top of the foot. And then if you can, you're gonna work on balance, lightening your right fingers. Till eventually, you don't need them. 3. Wherever you are. 2. Now release the left leg. Bring your left hand onto your hip. And then just turn your left hip down to the mat until your left hand comes down with it. Now float your left leg to the back of your mat, low lunge. Beautiful. Drop your left knee to the mat. Bring your right hand behind you. Drop it down and then sink into that right knee. Now twist the right shoulder back. Bring the left shoulder down. Stay if you want, or try bending that left knee now, because maybe that. Layer 2, 10. Come to your forearm. Nice deep breaths. Close your eyes if you think you can. Now slowly release that foot. As you come back, we're going to slowly bring the hand to the mat. Bring those arms to the mat and the tops of the feet. If you can, you're going to just have a seat between your feet. And come back and watch her struggle in that pose. Right? And you're like, dang it, I didn't know you could see me. All right, so I'm just hanging out here. Eventually we can get into those joints. All right. Left side's coming, and then we have a cool down, and then you guys are ready for your big Friday night. What do you have planned? I need to find something new on Netflix. I think that you should leave me some comments on what you're watching in Netflix. That way, I, one, know if you made it this far in the video, and two, I have something that I might be able to watch tonight. What are you watching?
Nothing.
Yeah, do?
Just
Looking for
yeah,
them?
nothing. Yeah.
Nancy's looking for something to watch too now. You know what I would really like is a really good documentary. And I like a lot of different things. So there was a really good one I did watch, and I can tell you guys it was called The Biggest Little Farm. It's about 100 miles north of LA. Fascinating. I remember someone said, you watched it? And I was like, I'd be into it. I'm totally into that stuff. And I was like, I don't know if I want to watch that movie. Right? I want to watch family in on that one. It was really good. Because you're really like, oh my God, what are they going to do? They get these, they come up with these problems, and it's funny because the solution is in nature. And it really starts to make you understand how everything works together. And fascinating. All right, it's time to move on, you guys. So I tried to Jedi mind trick you for left side, but we're doing it. Yeah, because we feel strong. And we've got now a movie to watch. All right, tabletop, let's come up, recirculate the legs, recirculate the lower body. I like to tap the feet. Most of us do. It does it quickly. Heart gets some blood down here because it's not moving into the feet. All right, friends, we're going back to downward facing dog. We've got a Jedi mind trick splits. Make sure your block is nearby if you have one and you can use it. If not, it's back to downward facing dog. And as you find your way back into down dog, we'll simply lift the left leg up, and then you come down with your hips, bend the knees, and glide it forward and kick, forward and kick. So we're creating a pattern with our mind, and then we're going to change the pattern before the body has time to catch up. And then when you're ready, land the heel, and then just slide forward. This is my really bad side, so I'm going to make sure I get a lot of support on here. Ooh. Yes, so any way that you want here. I'm going super, super supported here. Make sure I've got a lot to get under that tush, because my tushy is hurting. My butt can handle it, quite frankly. All right, hands are on the floor supporting you. You have a pillow under there. The ones from the couch work wonderful, all the way up to a block and supporting you. This is because I've got a lot of support under that group. All right, friends, we'll take a few deep breaths here. Just kind of relaxing into the posture. And then as you make your way back, slowly drag that left foot back. Sink into the knee. Move anything out of the way. Right leg is going to come up to the sky. Whew. All right, now bring those feet together. Here we go. Bend the knees. Inhale, chair pose, come up. Exhale, breath, revolve, chair pose to the left. So now you get down into the chair, twist over to the left. Get that armpit way down there. And get the knees to line up and the feet first. And then bring that left elbow up. The left hand then aims for the center of the chest. But you've got to really squeeze the feet and the knees back together. The toes are visible. So, if you look down, you can see them. Put the weights back into the heels. Good. Now we're going to slowly lift up the right heel. Taking our time. Taking our time. Take another breath or two. Get yourself all nice and prepared. And as you're ready, let's go for this. Let's try to lift the foot up. For 3, 2, now can you extend it back? 3, 2, land. You might have to come out, inch the foot forward or back, and come back up. That's okay. And as you find your way back, the right leg can be either on the knee or on the floor if you get in trouble, but all the way up and back is ideal. Now breathe. Find your twist, suck in the belly, find the lift through the crown of the head, and then sink back into the knee. Beautiful. If you can, and open the left arm. Nice. Over here you can. Pull yourself up. Now once you get up, the right hip's going to be a little droopy. So we're going to kind of just twist the arms, pull the right hip up, Pull the left shoulder back, reach the right arm forward, sink into the front knee. Now reach the arms in opposite directions, roll the shoulders back from the ears, squeeze the knees softly together, stay calm. Breathe for 3, 2. Now the left arm will come down, right arm will come up on the tail, on the hamstring, outside the hip now. 3. Pull the right hip up if you can, squeeze the thighs together. 2, sink into that knee. All right, now slowly pivot towards your right. Drop the right heel, Virabhadrasana 2. Open the arms, sink into that knee. Reach them in opposite directions. Tuck the left glute, push the hip forward, engage the right thigh, roll the arms apart. Stay calm. 2 more breaths. Left arm up, right arm back. Bring the right arm behind you. Beautiful. Keep walking that right arm over. Slide that left arm back. Keep it straight for now. And then bend the elbow at the last moment, bringing the fingertips between the shoulder blades. Sink into that knee, lifting out of the ribs, bringing your chin towards the bicep. And now let's take a breath for 3. Stay calm, 2. Now release just the left hand, leave the right arm behind you, and you'll bring it to the floor. Transfer the weight into the hand, into the foot, and kick the right leg up for half moon. Now my right arm is there so that right shoulder can open. Here, work on balance of the left fingers. 4, 3, 2. Now, slowly release the foot and bring your right hand to your hip. Then slowly kind of just twist the right hip down, slowly, 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 and bring your right hand down. Pause. Good, get the hips to frame. Now float the right leg all the way back to the back of your mat. Drop the knee to the mat. Place the right hand inside the left foot. You might need to inch the left foot up. Bring your left hand back behind you. Gently twist the left shoulder, and then see if you can slowly bend that right knee. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe you grab the foot, maybe you don't. Maybe you grab the pinky and lift the elbow up. Let's breathe now. 4, 3, 2, and release. Release the foot if you have it. Release the left hand into dragon. And then slowly tuck the right toes, bring the knee up, step back to downward facing dog. Now find your way back into downward facing dog. We'll take about 3 more breaths here. All right, so now we're going to try to put it together. We're either going to just jump to our hands or jump through them. The way that we do it is you bend the knees, so we look up, and then you try to jump through, land on your bum. Or you just cross your ankles and have a seat. It just shows up whenever it wants. You don't have a lot of control on that one. All right, so now that we're here, I'm just going to scoot myself back. My bum is on the floor. Now the left leg is going to extend out. The right foot's going to go into the floor. It's going to be away from my butt. It's going to be away from my leg, just enough that I can grab that knee, give myself a little lift. Grab onto the shin bone, bring your right elbow inside and reach forward. Once you reach forward, turn your thumb upside down. Try bending the elbow to bring your hand back. If it won't bend, just place the hand onto the floor. Bring your left arm behind you all the way back, inch it all the way over, and gently twist now. If this right elbow bent, eventually the hands will come together. It may not be today. Sometimes you need help. Try to twist your left shoulder to the back of the knees. Keep going, keep going, keep going. That's where the space is going to come from. And your foot maybe have to be a little bit further away from your leg. Yeah. There. See how it gives you more space? I know. And I could get her into it, but I'm not allowed to touch her. I can't touch her. All right. So there's a couple of variations. If I just barely got in here, I'm hanging through. So just kind of notice your body. You'll still notice my other side will be completely different. Let's take a couple breaths. On the next exhale, release the right leg, but follow it to the floor and go right into a forward fold. So just come on down. Head and neck is surrendered, forehead in towards your shins. Just breathe. Take one more breath. Slowly bring the left knee up, set the foot onto the floor. Remember, not too close to the thigh. It doesn't help you. Yeah, moving about 2 inches away, maybe even 3. It's 2 inches at least from my thigh. I'm going to say 1.5 inches. Left shoulder in, I'm going to reach past the foot, outside the knee, again on the floor, the elbow won't bend, hand back. Elbow bends, hand is back, then come back to try to find it in the mind. Pull the leg in towards the kind of ribs, lift the chest, flex the right toes. Feel free to stay here, layer on a twist, or move into a forward bend. Whichever you kind of feel like you're working on feels good tonight. Then move your way back towards your breath here. Let's do a few deep breaths. See if you can't just melt into it a little bit more. Following on the next exhale, 2. On the next exhale, scoot your hips to your heels and then slowly roll to your back, legs up the wall. Feel free to stay legs up the wall by pushing your knees into an imaginary wall, your heels into an imaginary wall, and your tail into the floor at the same time. Plow. Push the elbows into the mat and then slowly rock up, lifting up your tail and bringing your toes over your head. Hands can stay on the floor if the toes are easy, or bring the hands up to support the back. In either event, we're here for 10 breaths. For those of you familiar with the shoulder stand, you're welcome to do it. I will not be doing that pose for a while. And your hands can support your back as you make your way back. We're going back to our tail. Inside arches, putting the feet to the sky, and then gently bearing down onto the arches as you draw the toes back, drawing the tail. If you can get opposite elbows, forearms, or wrist. And then roll the shoulders back, eventually trying to get your tailbone to flatten as well. You can look towards your body. Finger moving, release the left leg to the mat. Interlace your fingers around the right knee. And then draw your right knee towards your armpit. As your chin moves to the chest, feel the spine stay straight, shoulders are back. Easy supine twist. Right arm comes out, left knee goes to your left, but not very far. Just a little bit idea. It would be at the expense of your lower back. Continue to push through the shoulder and just a gentle twist. We're going to bring that knee back to the center now and bring the left knee up. Reach around the legs this time. Switch up the grip so the opposite arm is closest to you this time. Bring your forehead toward, bring your chin towards your chest. Lower through the middle back to your tail. And then try to become as still as you can. 3, 2. Release the right leg long. Interlace the fingers opposite thumb out around the left knee. Elbows in, chin down. Gently draw the knee to the armpit using the strength of the biceps and the fingers. Keep your right leg long, but your weight is at the spine. 4, 2. Easy. Please keep your left shoulder down and back of right now. And let's hold right on. 3, 2. Now slowly bring both knees to your chest. And as you reach up and around them, bring as you can for 3. Let your toes fall to the sides. Allow your breath to move into the focus of your attention. Place, if you have a small towel, over your eyes. I'm going to play sounds from the bowls. You'll hear different sounds come through. Get lost in more deeply. Friends, we're approaching as you do. Now, as you come back towards your breath, and you lay back. Temperature is not cold or hot. Your fingers drift off into the water. Let them as they trail, making little waves and ripples. As you're passing by, there's these just fields and fields and fields of flowers. They're beautiful. Their color is orange. They could be poppies. They're orange, bright and beautiful. And it seems to go on as far as the eye can see. It fills you up. You feel full. Feel your heart beginning to fill. Those leaves hanging off of them, almost all the way down to these orange flowers. Vines almost. They're bright green. Almost a yellowish tinge about them. Brushing against your skin and your hands and your fingers should float through them. As you're walking through the flowers, your fingers brushing across them, almost like fields of wheat as you walk through them. Feel its intensity. Return to it's cooler over there. You need to walk through it again and feel it cool down the tips of the fingers as you brush across them. You find a little space. Well, for just a moment, you're going to lay down. Just before you head back, you want to feel all of those beautiful flowers around every part of your body, in between your toes, brushing against your skin. So you lay down. As you lay down, you can feel the coolness around you. It's beautiful. You begin to drift. And now you're drawn back. You're drawn back to your body. And you begin to slowly move your fingers and your toes as you draw yourself back into your life. And you enjoyed your stop and your rest and your float down the river and you enjoyed your little stay. But now it's time to get back into your life. Drop your knees and your body off to your right and center. As we move our hands to our heart center, our spine is tall and shoulders are relaxed back. And as we take a moment to close the eyes and bow the chin, we seek out opportunities for compassion. And they may begin with ourselves. As the thumbs lift and place between the eyes, we're reminded of our growth at Anja, the seedling of our enlightenment. Together, enjoyed your online yoga class, and I'm glad that you can all be a part of these classes live with us, and you can make your own little sanctuary wherever you are. So thank you so much for joining in. Please leave us comments at that time from you. Nancy thanks you as well because she yoga. Yay. So hey, you guys have a lovely evening. Have a happy Friday night. Don't go out there. Just practice good hygiene. I can say that. Practice good hygiene. And then, as always, I love you guys. Peace.
You look like Olivia Newton-John in your pants today.
I'm better shape. Yeah.